I swear I only said it once, and I swear I only meant it as a joke. That's what I keep telling myself when I wake up at 3 a.m. and see his ring still sitting on the bathroom sink like it's waiting for a finger that isn't coming back. I've left it there for 6 weeks now. I can't bring myself to move it, because moving it feels like admitting the whole thing is real. And if it's real, then I have to admit that I caused it. We were in the kitchen, the night everything tipped over. I was chopping parsley. Why do I remember that detail? Parsley. And he was leaning against the counter, scrolling through his phone, laughing at something. I looked up, and the overhead light hit him at the exact angle that made his hairline catch. It was the same weak M shape my dad's had taken once he hit 35, the same retreat that had always embarrassed me on Dad's behalf. I don't know why it embarrassed me, it's just hair. But it embarrassed me anyway, and here was Max, 32, already showing the same surrender. "Babe," I said, half teasing, half horrified, "you're going the way of my dad. Pretty soon we'll be matching you up with the hair club for men infomercials." I laughed because that's what you do when you're nervous, you laugh. He didn't. He looked up slowly, the smile dying on his face, and something shifted behind his eyes. Not anger exactly, more like someone had pressed mute on his whole personality. I tried to backpedal. "I'm kidding, I love your hair, I love you, it's just funny." The word funny tasted sour the second it left my mouth. I reached out to touch his arm. He stepped sideways, just out of reach. "You know I can't control that, right?" he said. His voice was soft, but the way he said right made it clear it wasn't a question. Genetics, stress, life, I can't control any of it. I rolled my eyes, God, I rolled my eyes and said, "Well, you could at least try Rogaine. Or like embrace baldness. My dad would kill for your thick sides. He combs everything over like he's building a suspension bridge." He stared at me for another beat. Then he pocketed his phone, walked to the bathroom, and closed the door. I heard the buzz of his beard trimmer click on. I thought he was just trimming his beard. I went back to my parsley, thinking the conversation was over. I was wrong. The next morning he came to breakfast with a towel around his waist and absolutely no hair on his head. Not a buzz cut bald. Razor shiny like a marble statue. I dropped the carton of oat milk I was holding. It exploded across the tile in a beige tsunami. "Jesus, Max, what did you do?" He shrugged, poured coffee into the one mug he hadn't packed yet. "You wanted me to embrace it." I didn't mean I started, but he was already walking past me to the bedroom. I followed, apologizing, trying to touch the bare skin of his scalp. It felt hot, like he just stepped out of a shower that was too hot. He let me touch it for a second, then pulled away. "I'm going to be late for work," he said. He didn't kiss me goodbye. That night he came home with a small square box in his pocket. I thought maybe it was a piece offering new headphones, maybe, or the sour gummy worms I loved. Instead, he set the box on the coffee table between us while I pretended to watch Great British Bake Off reruns. I could feel the silence stretching like taffy. "I can't do this anymore," he said. I laughed again, nervous habit, like I said, and said, "What, shave your head? I actually kind of like it. You look like your dad," he finished. "Yeah, that's the problem." I waited for the smile, the punchline. It didn't come. Instead, he opened the box. Inside was the ring, the one he'd picked out 8 months earlier, the one with the tiny emeralds channel set around the band because I told him diamonds were basic. He set it on the bathroom sink, kissed my forehead like he was saying goodbye to a child, and walked out. I didn't chase him. I told myself he'd be back by the weekend. He just needed to cool off. Guys do dramatic things when their egos get bruised. My mom always said Dad once slept in the car for 2 nights after she joked about his back hair. They're still married. Max would come back. He didn't. The first week, I sent the normal stuff: memes, playlists, a photo of the dog wearing his hoodie like a cape. He replied with thumbs-up emojis. Short, polite. I told my best friend Liv he just needed space. She gave me the look, the one that says you're being an idiot but I love you anyway. By week 2, I downloaded a period tracking app just to mark the days since he left. I scrolled through old photos of us on my phone, zooming in on his hair in every one. It was thick, wavy, the kind of hair stylists complimented. How had I not noticed it thinning? Was it even thinning, or had I invented the flaw so I'd have something to joke about? I posted a throwback pic of us at a brewery, me kissing his temple, captioned "missing this goof." He didn't like it. Week 3, I went full cyberstalker. Not proud of it, but if you've never scrolled 2 years back on your ex's cousin's girlfriend's Instagram to see if he's in the background of a brunch photo, don't judge me. He was. I did find a photo of him at a friend's engagement party, bald head gleaming under string lights, smiling in a way I hadn't seen since before the fight. My stomach dropped. He looked lighter, unburdened. That's when I started texting apologies. Long paragraphs, voice notes, even a poem I know. He replied once I need time to think. I read it 50 times, dissecting every word like it was the Zapruder film. Think felt hopeful, need felt final. My mom called on week 4. She'd heard from Max's mom there in the same book club. Honey, did something happen? She asked. I told her it was just a fight, we were working it out. She paused. Sweetie, he's moving his stuff out this weekend. His mom says he signed a lease. I hung up and stared at the ring on the sink. I hadn't moved it. I'd cleaned around it, dusted the porcelain twice, but left the ring itself untouched. It felt radioactive. If I picked it up, I'd have to decide what to do with it, wear it, pawn it, throw it into the lake like a dramatic heroine. Leaving it there let me pretend he might come back for it. Come back for me. I finally broke on a Thursday. I sent a text, can we talk, face to face? 5 minutes. I'll bring coffee. He replied an hour later, I'm at the new place. You can come by. His new apartment was above a vegan donut shop that smelled like regret and cinnamon. I wore the yellow sundress he loved, the one with the tiny rip near the hem I never fixed. I told myself it was just a dress, not a manipulation. It was totally a manipulation. He buzzed me up. Inside, the place was sparse, just a couch, a TV, and a dozen moving boxes labeled in his neat all-caps handwriting. He looked good. Not happy exactly, but settled. His head was still shaved, but it suited him now like he'd grown into the choice. He offered me water. I took it. We sat on opposite ends of the couch. I started with the apology I'd practiced in the mirror. I was cruel. I projected my own garbage onto you. I made something intimate into a punch line. I said all the right things. I meant them mostly. He listened, nodding. When I finished, he said, I believe you're sorry. But sorry doesn't undo the fact that the person I wanted to marry compared me to the one man she spent her life mocking. I flinched. I don't mock my dad. You do, he said gently. Every story about him ends with some joke about his hair, his clothes, his boomer energy. You think it's affectionate, but it's not. It's armor. And I realized I don't want to spend my life wondering which part of me you'll start picking at next. I wanted to argue, to say he was overreacting, that couples tease each other. But the words died in my throat, because I knew he was right. I'd spent years turning my dad into a caricature because it made me feel like the evolved one in the family. Smarter, cooler, and I'd just done the same to Max. He walked me to the door. I asked if I could hug him. He hesitated, then opened his arms. It was quick, polite. When I pulled back, I saw the ring in his palm. I think this belongs to you, he said. I shook my head. It was always yours. He considered, then set it on the hallway table. Then it's nobody, now. I left the building and stood on the sidewalk, the donut smell cloying in the heat. I looked up at his window, but he didn't appear. I walked the 3 miles home, the ring burning a hole in my pocket where I'd finally put it. I told myself I'd throw it away. I didn't. It's still on the sink. Not the same sink he kept the apartment. I moved in with Liv. But I put it on the new sink, like some kind of shrine to my own stupidity. Sometimes I'll catch myself in the mirror and run a hand over my own hairline, checking for retreat. There's none yet, but I know it's coming. Genetics, stress, life. I wonder if I'll handle it with grace or if I'll wage a quiet war against time, the way I always accused my dad of doing. I wonder if I'll ever forgive myself for weaponizing someone else's insecurity just to feel better about my own. Max texted me last week. He's seeing someone new. She's a chef, apparently. He says she roasts him about his knife skills, and he roasts her about her Spotify playlists, and it's equal and kind and none of it leaves bruises. I told him I was happy for him. I meant it mostly. I still haven't moved the ring. Liv says I should sell it, take a trip, buy the expensive vibrator something. But I think I need it there, a tiny silver scar, reminding me that love isn't a joke you tell at someone else's expense. That the things we mock in others are usually the things we're most afraid of in ourselves. Last night I dreamed I was bald. My scalp was smooth and cold, and Max was there, running his hand over it like he used to when we were happy. In the dream, I wasn't ashamed. I just stood still and let him see me. When I woke up, I touched the ring. For the first time, I didn't flinch.